It's quite amazing just how far gaming keyboards have come in just the last decade. With rapid trigger tech, snap tap tech, and Hall effect magnetic switches, just to name a few of the features, Syntech's Chronos 68 mechanical gaming keyboard has just about everything an advanced performing gaming keyboard should have right now. If you're an FPS gamer, then this might be a keyboard you should be paying attention to. Now, before we get too deep, I just wanted to thank Syntech for sending us a unit of the Chronos 68 to review. They're not going to be watching this before this is published, so all my thoughts are going to reach you first. Now, let's jump into the review. The Chronos 68 isn't necessarily a unique looking keyboard. It's built around an aluminum frame that has some good heft behind it. I have the yellow colorway, which is a little confusing as the keyboard's main color scheme is white, like the white colorway, but it's called yellow because the secondary accent keys are yellow. The actual white color secondary scheme is black, but the board is called white because there's also a third variant called black that's legitimately just all black. Kind of silly naming convention if you ask me, but whatever. I'm actually not too certain what Syntech was going for with the theme of the Chronos. I think yellow accents the white PVT keycaps well, but there's a nuclear symbol on the escape cap, a door exit symbol on the enter key, and a caution label accompanied by a model number G68 signature on the spacebar. The board's official name, as far as I'm aware, is Chronos 68, so shouldn't the text read C68? Where does the G come from? Maybe I'm missing a nod to a game or a show, but I just think of this as the Chernobyl board now. If I were to purchase one of these on my own personal funds, I'd likely choose the all black model. It's just more clean and it looks better in the photos from what I can see. But regardless of your aesthetic preferences, the Chronos 68 is still a solidly built 65% mechanical keyboard. While I don't know what the G stands for on the board, I do know what the 68 means, as I personally counted 68 keys on the Chronos. The home, the delete, the page up, and the page down keys are piled into a row on the very far right of the board, stacking on top of the right arrow key. It's a compact board, but this type of setup frees up a lot of space for the mouse action. That's usually what gamers are looking for while playing shooting games. I do like that we are at least able to retain a home button here, as that does help the whole day-to-day operation stuff when you're using this to type up documents. The board itself, though, is exceedingly clean with only a single USB-C port on the top left of the frame, deviating from the clean aesthetics. I don't like the port as it's a narrow and deeply carved slot that requires certain cables to be able to plug into. Since this isn't a wireless keyboard, it does need to be jacked into a computing device through this USB port, so you'll either have to use the cable that comes with the keyboard or another one that can tightly squeeze into that hole. My coiled aviator cables don't match up with this hole type, and I surmise others will also need to rely on the included cable to initially get this thing running. On the next model, please use a flat USB-C port. I'm begging you, Syntech. Speaking of included things, Syntech throws in a compact wrist pad with the Chronos 68. It's made to fit perfectly within the frame of the keyboard, and I've been using it with the mechanical keyboard since I basically unboxed it. It's not the most plush wrist rest out there, but for a free add-on, I think it is beneficial to some users out there who are only really beginning their desk setup. I won't be personally using this after my review period, but I do appreciate when OEMs provide buyers with things that they believe will enhance the product's experience. Typing on the keyboard is satisfying thanks to the ultra low latency rate from the Chronos. It's an 8000 Hz polling rate that makes input seem near instant. There's some customizable aspects that are activated through dedicated hotkey combinations, like setting a shorter actuation, but those are things that benefit gaming more than typing. The board can quickly switch between gaming mode and a regular typing profile through dedicated hotkeys. I made use of this during my review period, and after customizing the actuation and adding SnapTac to the gaming profile, the need to quickly swap between the profiles was made very obvious. I think the typing experience on the Chronos is fine as it is. It's comfortable and the keycaps are clean and legible. This specific board we were sent utilizes Altamu magnetic sealed switches, where I found the typing acoustics to be quite satisfying. It isn't a glaringly loud pop off the key. In fact, it's quite the opposite, as the Chronos gives off a really muted cushion ambiance. Nonetheless, the sound is still satisfying for mechanical keyboard lovers. The main selling point for a keyboard of this caliber is in its upper echelon gaming capabilities. A Hall effect board like this can unlock extra performance based results thanks to this technology. You'll first have to access the web based app, which is pre programmed as a hotkey combination on the board. If I'm being honest, it's a bit freaky to have a hotkey program that types up a random web address in your browser by itself. Even more honesty here, the interface of that application is bland and generic. It's not inviting to use at all. Aside from the fact, it at least does give operators a quick way to get access to modifying the capabilities of the Chronos 68. Through this portal, you'll be able to not only calibrate the keyboard, but you'll be able to customize stroke settings, key bindings, and of course, RGB settings. And just to deviate really quickly to the RGB show on the Chronos is rather basic. It lights up the board in all of the generic rainbow colorways, while also cycling through the same kind of lighting patterns you'll see on gaming keyboards from every maker. It's not bad, and that's not to say there's anything wrong with it, but it also isn't really anything to write home about. It simply lights the board up in a bright enough color scheme to let you know that it's a keyboard meant for gaming. Anyway, once you configure and enable those functions you want to use with the app, you'll have access to little performance tricks that some other players using a traditional mechanical board won't have. For me, the most beneficial addition to a gaming experience through a Hall effect keyboard is the snap tap function. This is a precise movement mechanic that has a keyboard prioritize the most recent directional input whenever there's a finger actually occupying a press on an opposite command. The easiest example of this is using A and D to go left and right. If you're still holding down the A key to go left while you suddenly press the D key to go right, a traditional keyboard won't be able to register the new direction. Your character would stall and not move. This keyboard, through the snap tap ability, will continue with the right side movement because it's the newest command sensed by the input of the D key. That's quite beneficial because you don't really need and you don't really realize just how much energy and movement you exert pulling your fingers off a key at such quick speeds to register another key press for a command during a gameplay. This is especially true for rapid and chaotic movements in shooting games. With the Chronos 68, I can casually change my character's trajectory without rapidly releasing the previous directional input. Once you use it, it's hard to go back to the old way of playing. Now, rapid trigger is another one of these Hall effect keyboard cheat mechanics that allows gamers to drop the actuation tool as low as 0.1 millimeters. Whereas a traditional mechanical keyboard would still be registering an action from an input on a key press that had any amount of pressure asserted, rapid trigger would instantly stop the motion with the same amount of pressure released on the key. As we can coin the term in sports, you can literally stop at a dime if you wanted to with the Chronos 68. Like I said before, this stuff is most beneficial played on a fast-paced FPS game where every slight angle and movement is key to keeping your head on your shoulder. Make no mistake about it, Syntech has a really fast gaming keyboard here that's quite competitive in pricing. Hall effect boards are starting to saturate the lower end of the gaming keyboard market too, but the higher end boards still command quite a bit of money. The Chronos 68 is comparable to offerings from Razer and other brands that allow for these same types of technological amenities on their mechanical keyboards. I think it's a fine entrant into the Hall effect catalog of gaming keyboards, and I'm interested to see Syntech's lineup further expand down the line. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Alex from the Sypnotix. Let me know what you think of Hall effect boards and these new type of technologies to help you game, and I'll see you in the next one.